This is Sarah, and welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this silly tissue paper cover that looks like a sock monkey. And the cool thing about this pattern is it's the perfect shape to fit the standard size toilet paper roll. Today's demonstration, I am going to make a sock monkey, even though it may not be in traditional colors, but you can always do traditional colors. I just love sock monkeys. Every time I look at them, they just make me giggle. Well, you can find this pattern on my blog, and I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. What you're going to need to make a basic sock monkey toilet paper or tissue paper roll holder or cover is, of course, some yarn. And I'm going to be using this yarn today. I'm going to make the sock monkey out of the Vanna's Choice Taupe Mist. Now there are some other choices that you can use for this. Hobby Lobby makes one. I think Lion Brand makes one. But I really like using the Vanna's Choice. I have had a little bit of trouble locating it lately, and I did spy some at Michael's the other day, and I picked a few more of them up. And so this is the Vanna's Choice Taupe Mist that we'll be using for the monkey portion, the ears and the face of our sock monkey. I'm going to be using this variegated, it's pink and brown and green for where I have the white on the top of the hat on this monkey. I'm also going to be using this solid pink for the mouth, and I'll be using some black for the eyes. Now black is really hard to video, and so what I'm going to do is I'll show you how to make the eye with this cream color so that you can see what I'm doing, but I'll explain that to you when we get to that portion. And I will be using this cream color for the around the mouth and the bottom of the tissue holder. These are all worsted weight number 4 weight yarns, which is a medium weight yarn. And the truth is, you can make your sock monkey or your tissue paper holder in any colors that you want to. Make it in a rainbow or make it all yellow. It doesn't matter. Make it green. Any color of worsted weight number 4 yarns. We're going to be stitching today with our H hook. This is an H8, which is a 5.00 millimeter crochet hook. You'll need a needle for weaving in those ends and sewing our pieces on. And of course, you'll need your scissors. Grab your supplies, pick out some fun yarns, and we'll get started. We're going to start with the top of our toilet tissue cover. We're going to do this round flat part, and then we'll work our way down. So the first yarn that you need to have is the color that you want to do the hat of your sock monkey out of. I'm beginning with my variegated. We're going to make our slip knot and chain 5. We're going to join this chain 5 in a circle. Snug this down. We're going to make that little stay knot. Put our hook through and chain 3. And this chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. Now we're going to stitch 9 more double crochets in this chain 5 loop. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's see how many we got. I've got my chain 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need one more so that we have 10 because our chain 3 counted as our first double crochet. we're going to join to the top of the chain 3 and chain 3. Now, don't panic if you have a hole in the center. I'll show you how to close that up when we're all finished. And this is how row 1 should look. All right, let's stitch row 2. Now, row 2, we're going to place 2 double crochets in each of the 10 double crochets. So we've already got our chain 3, so we'll just place 1 double crochet in that next stitch because our chain 3 counted as our first double crochet. So now in the next 9 double crochets, we're going to stitch 2 double crochets, and we'll increase from 10 to 20. Now we want the top of our toilet paper cover to lay nice and flat. We don't want it to curl up. If it's curling up, you might be stitching just a smidge too tight, and you might want to loosen up your stitches. If you are a tight crocheter and you're still coming out a little bit tight, you might go up a hook size, because it's really important that the top of our toilet paper cover lay nice and flat. Whoopsie, there we go. All right, let's count to make sure I've got 20. So there's our first 2, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Looks like I need 2 more. Luckily, I have 1 more stitch left. So now I have 20 double crochets, 1 in each of the 10. So I'm going to join to the top of that chain 3 that counted as our first double crochet with a slip stitch and chain 3. So there's row 2. All right, let's do row 3. Now row 3 is the same as row 2. We have our chain 3 that counts as our first double crochet. We're going to put 1 double crochet in that next stitch because our chain 3 counted as our first double crochet. And then again, we're going to place 2 double crochets in each of the double crochets around. And so since we had 20, we will increase to 40 double crochets. And again, we want this top to be nice and flat. So try not to make your stitches too tightly. There we go. Had a little string on that one. All right, 2 double crochets and each double crochet around so that we end up with 40 double crochets, and then I'll join to the top of that chain 3 again. I've placed 2 double crochets in each of the double crochets around for a total of 40 double crochets. Again, I'm going to join to the top of my chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. Now row 4 is just a little bit different. Our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, and then we'll put a stitch. Forgot my loop over. There we go. We'll place a double crochet in the first double crochet, and then we'll place 1 double crochet in the next double crochet. And so the way this row will work is we'll have 2 single double crochets, and then we'll stitch 2 double crochets together. So I stitched those 2 together. So now the next 2, I'm going to stitch 1 double crochet in the next 2. I call this doing 2 and 2. 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 2, and repeat. 2 double crochets in the next, and then 2 double crochets, 1 in each of the next 2. So there's 1 and 2. See? 2 double crochets in this stitch and 1 in each of the next 2. And we'll repeat this all the way around. 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the next 2. There we go. Just to make sure that you understand what I'm doing, for row 4, we're going to be repeating 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and 1 double crochet in the next 2. Two double crochets in the next stitch, and 1 double crochet in the next 2, working all the way around row 4 till we get back here, and we'll join to the top of our chain 3. I finished that 4th row doing 2 and 2, 2 double crochets in 1, and then 2 double crochets individually in the next 2 stitches. We're going to join to the top of the chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. Now this row, we're going to start working down the sides of the toilet paper roll. And on this row, we're going to be making 1 double crochet in each double crochet. But we're going to be working in what's called the back loops only. And if you look at the top of your stitches, you'll see that it looks like there's a braid going across there. The loops of those stitches that are facing you are the front loops. The back loops are the ones that are facing away. And we're going to only be stitching in those back loops on this row. And that's what's going to give us that edge, so that the edges or the sides of the toilet paper cover move down smoothly and sit nice. So what we're going to do, yarn over, we're going to go only in the back loop and stitch a double crochet in each double crochet. Yarn over, go just in that back loop and stitch a double crochet. And as you stitch these, you will notice that a little line is forming across here. Let me grab this one so you can see what I'm talking about. Here's our top, and then there's a line. And that's just going to make it so that it sits nice coming down the sides. All right, so let's continue stitching 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, stitching only in the back loops. See how that looks? And it's going to lay just like that. All right, 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, stitching in the back loops only. We're all done increasing. We won't increase anymore. Oops, got stuck on that one. It happens sometimes. There we go. I used to try to take all those sorts of things out, but I think all crocheters need to understand when you're learning, or if you're already a seasoned crocheter, that things happen, like pulled strings and strings getting caught and knots in yarn. See how that looks? See that line? That's what we're going for. So I'm going to continue on around here, stitching 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, working in the back loops only. So I finished row 5, 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, working in the back loops only. And you can see where it has that line all the way around. And that's exactly what we want it to have. I joined to the top of my chain 3 and I went ahead and chained 3. And for row 6, we're only going to place 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. We're not going to be stitching in the back loops anymore. So we'll just double crochet in each double crochet around. And this is the last row of the hat portion of our sock monkey. So just 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, and then we'll join back to that chain 3 like we've done previously. Remember, we're not stitching in the front loops or the back loops on this row. We're just stitching regular double crochets. So just 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, join to the top of the chain 3, but don't change 3 because we're going to change colors. I finished that second row, double crochet. We're going to cut our yarn because we're finished with our hat color, and if you're doing yours in traditional, this of course is a white or a cream. And we're going to bring in our monkey color. So we're just going to put it over our hook and pull it through, snug that down, and then we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to continue working around and making 4 rows of 1 double crochet in each double crochet for the monkey portion of our sock monkey toilet paper cover. So we'll just begin stitching 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, exactly like we did on the previous row. Only difference is we're doing it in the monkey color. And we're going to make 4 rows of 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, join to the chain 3, chain 3, and repeat. So just to make sure that you understand, the next 4 rows are exactly like the previous row. 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, join to the chain 3 and chain 3 and repeat till you have 4 rows of the sock monkey color. I finished stitching those 4 rows of the sock monkey color for the face of the sock monkey. Let me show you on this one. The hat is in cream, and then we did 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of the sock monkey color. Now on the traditional monkey, you're going to need to do a row of red, but I'm going to bring back in my variegated, And then instead of the cream color, I'm going to do a solid pink. But if you're doing traditional colors, you'll need to do those 4 rows of sock monkey, row of red, and a row of the white or the cream, whichever you're using. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn, because I'm done with that sock monkey yarn for right now. And I'm going to bring back in my variegated color. I'm going to do it the same. Snug it down, and then chain 3. And this row is exactly like the rows that we just did of 1 double crochet and each double crochet around. And this is really just an accent row, just to bring the color down so that it's in more than just one place on the sock monkey. And I'm using these different colors because I want you to see that any pattern can be made to look different just by changing the colors of the yarn. So many times we think we have to stick with the colors that the pattern calls for. And we do if we want to try to make it look just like the pattern. But never be afraid to use your creative juices and change the colors all around. Like this. So I'm going to continue on all around this row, stitching 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, and then I'll join to that chain 3 like we've done previously, and then I'll change out to my solid pink yarn. As you can see, I finished that row of 1 double crochet with the variegated yarn, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that yarn again, and I'm going to bring in the solid pink. Same way. There we go. Snug it down, only the difference is we're only going to chain 1. All right. And now we're just going to place 1 single crochet in each of the double crochets around. And when we finish this row, all we'll have left to do on the cover portion of it is to tidy it up and weave in our ends. Then I'll show you how to make the pom-pom, the eyes, the ears, and the mouth. So we're stitching 1 single crochet in each of the double crochets around. So I stitched a single crochet in each of the double crochets around, and I'm going to join to the first single crochet. Don't join in the chain 1, join in the first single crochet. Gives you a much cleaner look. We're going to tie off. And I'm going to go behind. I'm going to put that loop on my hook and pull it to the back and then pull that string through. And now it's time to weave in our end. So I'm going to take the cover, I'm going to turn it wrong side out, and the first thing I want to deal with is this hole in the center. So we're going to take our needle, thread that yarn on there, and we're just going to go around those initial stitches that we made. Give it a gentle pull, and then finish weaving in that piece of yarn. Back and forth. And then we'll tie it off. Now we have a lot of other ends to weave in where we changed colors. And what I like to do is try to weave that in the same color, just in case some of the yarn might show through. So I'm just going to go through some of the stitches, trying to go through some of the fibers of the yarn. And I go one way, I go the other, and then if I have enough yarn, I try to turn and go back the other way 3 times. One way, the other, and then back. I just think makes it give a nice sturdy weave in, and we shouldn't have any problems with it coming out, because I have a feeling that this particular item's probably going to have to go through the laundry a couple of times. Probably because my granddaughter or grandson will probably play with it when they're in the bathroom, and they might drop it in the potty. Wouldn't be surprised, so we want to be prepared, right? All right, so I'm going to finish tidying this up, and then we're going to make some ears. So now we need to give the monkey some ears. Now I've already made one and attached it, and let me show you how we do that. We're going to make our slip knot and chain 2. Now in the second chain from the hook, we're going to stitch 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Get that tail out of the way. All right, let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch and chain 1. Now in these 6 single crochets, we're going to stitch 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. 4, 6, 8, there's 10, and 12. Because we had 6 single crochets, we stitched 2 in each one. That gives us 12. We're going to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch, and then we're going to cut our yarn. Now make sure you leave yourself a tail of about 12 inches because we're going to use that to sew it on to the sock monkey. So we'll go ahead and tie that off. And now we need to weave our ends in real quick, or our end, because we're going to use the other end to sew it on. So we'll use this short end here from the center, and we want to make sure we don't have a hole. So we'll just go around those initial stitches in a circle and just gently ease that in so that that hole closes up. There we go. Go up a stitch and then turn and go the way you came. And this is just going to keep it from coming open. And then we need, of course, to weave that end in. There we go. So now we have a little ear, and we need to put it on our sock monkey head. All right, so I've already got this one on. We want to try to line it up, and then we're going to set it just like this. And the sock monkey ear placement, of course, is up to you. I try to lay it flat and put one on each end. We'll line it up right underneath that hat. See where the edge of the hat is? And we'll put our ear right below it. And we'll just make some stitches going through the ear and the hat. And I make about 4 or 5 and then come back the other way. Make sure that ear is not going anywhere, especially, like I said, when we're going through the laundry. All right, so now we're going to go to the inside. Pull that through Make sure that's on nice and tight. And then we'll just weave it in back here. And cover that all up. That ear's not going anywhere. Alrighty. So now we have ears on our sock monkey, and it needs a mouth and some eyes. Alright, to make the mouth you're going to need either pink or red, because the traditional sock monkey has a red mouth, but I'm going to put a pink one on mine. And what we're going to do is we're going to chain 9. There's our slip knot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, we're going to turn and we're going to place a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And then we're going to place a single crochet in all the chains, not the stitches, although chains are stitches, so that we have a total of 8 single crochets because we skipped that first chain. So we'll have 8 single crochets. All right, now we're going to turn our work and we're going to stitch 8 single crochets going down the opposite side of the chain. All right, now we're going to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch. We're going to trim or cut our work. And now we're going to join in the cream color. And we do it the same, just pull it through, snug it down, and chain 1. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to place 2 single crochets in this first single crochet. And then we'll place a single crochet in the next 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there we go, 6. Now in this last single crochet on this side, we're going to place 2 single crochets. And now we're going to turn our work, and in the first single crochet on the second side, we're going to stitch 2 single crochets. And that just makes it smoothly move around the corner of the mouth. Now we're going to place a single crochet in the next 6. And then we'll place 2 single crochets in that last single crochet. And then we'll join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch. And we're going to tie off, but leave yourself again about 10 or 12, maybe even 16 inches for this one, so that you can sew that on to your sock monkey. All right, but before we do that, we have a little weaving in to do. So we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're just going to weave it in using a needle and go back and forth on the back side, because we don't want our mouth to fall apart, right? And we'll do the rest of them the same way, only don't weave in this piece. All right, we're ready to put the mouth on. Everything's all woven in and tidied up. And I like to put the mouth right on the edge of where this trim line was, centered between the two ears. And you can pin it on if you want to. I just hold it in place with my hand, and I just go around these edge stitches. And remember to make sure you give it just a little stretch, that it's not stitched too tightly, in case it gets played with a little bit while someone's going potty in the bathroom, which I know my grandkids will play with them. All right, so now I'm just going to go around the bottom of the mouth, just stitching those stitches in. And you might need to shape it a little so that it looks more like it's smiling than frowning. We don't want a frowny sock monkey, right? Alrighty, so I got string hanging out. Let's push that in. And then once I get to the end, I'll just keep stitching until I run out of yarn. Just go back and forth. I'm going back around the way I came, just to make sure my little mouth's going to stay put. A few extra stitches will just help it out a little bit. There we go. Just using up my leftover yarn that I have on my needle, making sure my mouth's going to stay put. And then when I'm happy that it's going to stay put, I'm going to go to the back and just weave that in. All right, so now our monkey has ears and a mouth. And it's time to give this little monkey some eyes. I've made one and gone ahead and attached it to the sock monkey, and then I went ahead and made a black one so I can show you how to do that. But it's very difficult to see the black yarn, so I'm going to show you with this white yarn how to crochet that simple little monkey eye. You just make a slip knot, chain 2, and then we're going to stitch 8 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. All right, so I single crocheted 8 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. I'm going to slip stitch into that first single crochet to join, and then we're going to tie off. Now leave a large tail of yarn for sewing the eye onto the sock monkey, and then to close that hole that sometimes happens with that style is you just thread that onto your needle, and you just go around those stitches and just gently pull that in, and that will close that hole up. Then you can weave that in and close up that hole. So you have a nice little eye with a long tail that you can sew on your sock monkey. Now, like I said, I didn't want to show you with the black yarn because the black yarn, it is impossible to see how to do that. Now, to sew the eye onto your monkey, you want to make sure your eyes are lined up. Here I've got one already on, and here's the other one. You can pin it in place if you want to. I just always hold them. And you're just going to stitch around the edge just like we did the mouth. You're going to go around these outside stitches. Whoops, got the ear caught. Poor monkey. All right, so we're just going to go around these edges. And I like it to kind of pooch out a little, so I kind of squish it up when I'm sewing it. I don't know why, I just think it gives a little bit of a 3D look, but it's just fun. Now, another question that I get sometimes is, can you use buttons? And if you're going to put this in a place where a baby's not going to put it in their mouth, absolutely, use some buttons for fun. I just kind of like these because they come through the wash really well, although buttons can as well, but I just like to use the crochet eyes. All right, so we sewed it on, we tied it off, and we weaved it in. And now our sock monkey has some eyes and a face to look at you. Isn't that cute? All right, let's finish up with a pom-pom. To finish up with a pom-pom, I just cut off a piece of yarn that I'm going to use to make the pom-pom on. Then I choose the yarn that I'm going to use. I wrap it loosely around my 4 fingers about 25 or 30 times, depending on how thick you want your pom-pom. If you want a thin pom-pom, not so many. If you want a bigger one, then you wind it more. All right, so then I'm going to cut my yarn. I'm going to take that and lay it right across that piece of string. And then I'm going to tie it nice and tight. And I usually tie it a couple of times. I'm going to put my thumb and my finger on there so it stays down. I'm going to give it another tight pull. And then another one. Then I usually do another one. Now, if you're worried that it's going to come out, you can put a little dot of fray check right on that little knot, or a little dab of hot glue. All right, so now we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut all those loops. And then comes a fun part. We get to make a mess. All right, so then I take that and I kind of pull it all one direction. And then I just cut it just like this. Fan it out, and it's up to you if you want it to be perfect or you want it to be a little bit what I call scattered. Just a little crazy. I like it. I think it's fun when it's just a little off, not perfect, but you can trim it until it's the way you want it. Make a nice mess. There's a pom-pom. All right, so let's go ahead and put this pom-pom on our sock monkey. I'm gonna take my crochet hook and I'm going to go up in the stitches next to the center, and I'm going to grab one of those strings. There we go. And then I'll do the same thing on this side. Grab the other string, pull it to the inside. So here's the inside. And I'm going to snug that down nice and tight. And again, you can put a little dab of fray check or fabric glue or hot glue on that knot. And after I do that, I'd like to do this knot. I don't know what it's called, but it works great. And it's like I looped both of the yarns through and made a nice tight knot. We'll just clip that off and flip it over. And now we have, besides a mess, a nice little toilet paper roll friend to sit in the bathroom, on the back of the potty, or on the sink and make all of our friends laugh. So this is my sock monkey toilet paper or tissue roll cover for your bathroom or for a guest room or a child's bathroom. Super fun, super silly, and sock monkeys always make me laugh.